नाम पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द ऑल assembled devotees। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। All glories to the all assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call today. I thank all of you for attending this Japa session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Now, I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy names which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in the Padma Purana. Number 1, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Number 2, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of the Lord Vishnu. Number 3, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Number 4, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures and versions to the Vedic version. Number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. Number 6, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. Number 7, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. Number 8, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, dear devotees, I please accept my humble obeisances and I welcome all of you to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Now let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined this call?
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Thank you, Mataji, for your services. I'm happy that you could serve today. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your wonderful services, Mataji. And nowadays, I'm not doing any services, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna, welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago, Illinois.
Hare Krishna, Yasamati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your kind services, Mataji, to the group. And welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण सुंदरांगी राधा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call every day and giving your association to us. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to all the assembled devotees on the call. With Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. This is Harita from Texas, Mataji, and all glories to your wonderful services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Harita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gaurang. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada, all goes to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Syama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Shri Guru and Gaurang. Thank you so much, Mataji, for all your wonderful services. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, Dandas Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vardhana from Atlanta, Mataji. Thank you so much for all your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful services and thank you for giving me the opportunity. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mataji, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumar Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your wonderful association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Mataji, Suresh from Prabhu will read the introduction today, or who is going to read?
Hey, check the playlist, Mataji. We don't even have an introduction for Prabhuji. I mean, he did not give us, or Shamagauri Mataji should answer, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I think we don't have introduction, Mataji. We need to ask Prabhuji.
Okay. Maybe we can chant Mataji until Prabhu joins.
Prabhuji is coming, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, just if you want to announce the speaker name and say welcome to Bhakti Sangha, I will start
Okay.
the recording. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Simhachalam Prabhuji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 16th chapter and text number 5. I will check. Prabhuji is not here. Prabhuji is joining shortly, devotees. If anyone wants to introduce, they can introduce. Otherwise, we can chant until Prabhu joins.
Mataji, you can chant, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadigya Gaura Bhakta Pranda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Pranda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Mataji
Yes,
Sundarangi Mataji, Prabhuji is there on the call. I will give him co-host and we'll continue the
Okay.
class. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to us. and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. And today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 16th chapter, and text number 5, Prabhu. Whenever ready, please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for this today's Bhagavatam class. We'll just begin with the prayers. Om Agyan Trimandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Miltam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guruho श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं साधुधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखामृतं श हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः मूखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for this class. So let's recite with the verse itself. Today we are going to recite from the 8th canto, 16th chapter, verse number 5. अपीव कुशलं किञ्चित् गृहेषु गृहमेधिनी धर्मस्यर्थस्य कामस्य यत्र योगो हि योगिनाम् अपीव कुशलं किञ्चित् अपि वा कुशलं किञ्चित् गृहेषु गृहमेधिनी धर्मस्यर्थस्य कामस्य यत्र योगो हि योगिनाम् अपि वा कुशलं किञ्चित् गृहेश गृहमेधिनी धर्मस्यर्थस्य कामस्य यत्र योगो हि योगिनाम्. Hare Krishna. Someone would like to recite? Okay. So we'll just understand. So this verse talks about, someone would like to recite, can recite. I can wait for a while, otherwise we'll move forward. All right. Hare Krishna. So let's understand what is this verse. But before we get into the verse, let us understand the prelude to this verse. In the previous chapter, Sukadeva Goswami has been asked a question that why did Lord beg 3 pieces of land from Bali, like poor man? First question. And the second part of the question was, why did he arrest Bali even though he got the gift? So that is, he's asking that I'm anxious to know, O Sukadeva Goswami, please let me know. And therefore, Sukadeva Goswami narrates that Bali was brought back to life by Shukracharya, and Bali started was very, very grateful to Shukracharya. Shukracharya had got Sanjeevani mantra. So this episode of procuring Sanjeevani mantra by Shukracharya has not been described. Earlier, the demons in Tripura, they had a pond of nectar. And it so happened that whenever the demons would die, or they will be killed, they would again be dipped in that nectar and again they will be brought back to life. So that pond was there, and that is why demons would always have an upper hand than demigods. Demigods pleaded to Vishnu, please do something about it, or we are always losing. And that is why Vishnu, in form of a cow, and Brahma took a form of a calf, they went inside and drank all the nectar. And that's how they were bereft of the nectar. Now again, demigods became powerful. It's the fight between demons and demigods that keeps on happening. Therefore, in material world, there is no peace anyway. Whether you talk about the upper planetary system, middle planetary system, or lower planetary systems, they're all the same. That's why. And anxiety is always that. And that is why spiritual world, the first level of spiritual world is called Vaikuntha, because there is no anxiety. The nature of material world is what? Dukhalama Shashvatam. And nature of spiritual world is what? It is Vaikuntha, opposite of the, what is opposite? Exactly opposite of the material creation. Right? So this is definitely opposite of that. And Bali was so that was the thing, that how it was that Shukracharya would bring Bali Maharaj back to life when the pond was already dried. In order to, once it so happened that, as I told, that there's always fight between the demons and demigods keeps on taking place in the heavenly planets. Demons want to always, they're jealous of demigods because demigods have a higher facility to enjoy, and that's what happens in material life also. Someone who has more, people are jealous, and someone who has more, people are jealous of him, and someone who is already enjoying that more, he is proud. So some people are proud, some people are envious. That's how the whole material creation is meant or is made. Here, demons are always anxious to acquire or procure the position of demigods because demigods have more facilities to enjoy, and that is why demons, being envious of demigods, they always keep attacking demigods or the heavenly planets. It so happened that sometimes demons become powerful, sometimes demigods become powerful. So one time demigods became very powerful and they started defeating the demons, and they threw out demons from the heavenly planets which they have occupied, or when they had come to attack demigods, they had defeated the demons badly. And in fact, Bali Maharaj was killed in that war also. So that is why we see that Bali Maharaj was brought back to life by Shukracharya, because Shukracharya had acquired a mantra called Sanjeevani, by which he would able to revive even dead people. How did Shukracharya got this ability? Shukracharya, being compassionate on his disciple, thought that he would learn Sanjeevani mantra, but to procure or learn Sanjeevani mantra is not that easy. One needs to do very severe austerities. Please, Lord, sure. That is why he had taken a vow to do that. And to a degree that he held himself upside down, the head down, the leg up, Sirsasana. For 1,000 years, he did that. And in 1,000 years, you need to only inhale smoke, or probably he was inhaling smoke. That was the austerity he had vowed to do. Meanwhile, in the understanding what Shukracharya wanted, he had sent his own daughter, Jayanti, to dissuade him. But he was so inclined to do his austerities, he did not. Even Jayanti did so many, or was trying to dissuade in many ways, but she couldn't. And later on, seeing the strictness and austerity of Shukracharya, she was very impressed, and she was serving also Shukracharya. Meanwhile, after thousands of years, Lord Shiva gives darshan. He gets that Sanjeevani mantra, and meanwhile, because Jayanti was serving Shukracharya, Shukracharya had also felt affection towards her, and they got married. So likewise, that marriage happened. But Shukracharya was, that's how he got Sanjeevani Mantra, and he could bring back the demons back to life. On that pretext, because when Bali Maharaj was revived, at that time they started having a big sacrificial fire. And in that sacrificial fire, he was empowered by Prahlad also. Sukracharya gave him counsel, and that's how, with a lot of enthusiasm, he was empowered. And because of his influence, because he had pleased the Brahmanas, pleased his seniors, because of that, he was very much influential. And very easily he got victory over the demigods. And that's why he had conquered all demigods, conquered all the heavenly planet system, and he became the king. But what happens? Someone becomes the king, or probably to get upper hand, he had to throw all the demigods out of their posts. Demigods were without home, without post, and they had no place to now. They had to take. They were taking shelter at very remote places. They were completely bereft of that. Understanding that the and this verse talks about that now. अपि वाकुशलं किंचित गृहेषु गृहमेदिनां धर्मसर्थस्य कामस्य यत्र योग हि योगिनां. What is happening over here? When Kashyap Muni visits ashram of Aditi, see, who is Kashyap Muni? Let's understand from here. Kashyap Muni is a big sage. I mean, he is the son of Marichi, who is direct son of Brahmaji, and from Kashyap marries Diti, Aditi, and of course other wives are also there from Daksha Prajapati's daughter. But mostly Diti and Aditi are very significant, although there are others also. But specifically Aditi here is the mother of demigods, and Diti is mother of demons. Diti had approached Kashyap Muni at a wrong time for procreation. And that is why she was cursed to, not really cursed, but probably she went or approached Kashyap at a wrong time. And that is why two demons were born, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, those who created havoc. And in that line was born Prahlad, and Prahlad's son was Virochan, and Virochan's son was Bali. And Bali is that right now, what we are discussing right now. So Bali was ruling that time, and that's how Bali became victorious. But on the other side, the other wife of Kashyap Muni was Aditi. Aditi's son was Vishwasan and many demigods like that, and Vyavastha Muni also came in that line. So she was the mother of the demigods, and she was very worried, and she was thinking that and specifically when mother sees that sons are not happy, sons are suffering, mothers feels a lot of pain. And that is why she had been feeling a lot of pain. And in that pain and agony, she was just thinking that how can I protect my sons? How can my sons get back their kingdom? How can I help my children? How can I get the demigods get back their place? And that's why in that agony, in that predicament, she's been lamenting. She's been lamenting that how can I protect my sons? So here for Kashyap Muni, when he visits Ashram Aditi, seeing distressed, because when he sees that this Aditi is really lamenting for protection of. So therefore Kashyap Muni came out of trance, because Kashyap Muni was in trance for a long time. And then he comes out of trance, and then he thinks to visit Aditi. And therein, when he goes to the ashram, he sees Aditi is complete in a very beshelled situation. She's not happy. She's looking morose. And that is why he's asking few questions. Who's asking few questions? Kashyap Muni is asking question to Aditi. And in that question, he's asking, have you disobeyed the prescribed duties? There are different prescribed duties which we need to do. For example, chanting Gayatri or taking bath, and so many rituals we have to do. But that is the very first question which Kashyap Muni asked, that have you disobeyed the prescribed duties? Any discrepancy in following dharma, artha, kama? That's what the word talks about. Any discrepancy in following dharma, artha, kama? If there is some discrepancy, people feel morose, because if not able to follow dharma, artha, kama properly, then one does not feel happy. One is not having artha. One is not able to enjoy. One is not able to do kama, and that happens to dharma. So is there any discrepancies in dharma, artha, kama? That is the question he's asking, because the Aditi, the mother of demigods, is looking very morose. Can someone please read this translation?
O my wife, who are very much attached to household life, if the principles of religion, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in household life, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether there have been any discrepancies in following these principles. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So as we see over there, he's saying that is there any discrepancies in following Artha Dharma Kama? He's saying, I wonder whether there has been any discrepancies following these principles. Understanding that Dharma Artha Kama. He's not asking, have you not chanted your 16 rounds? Someone go, sometimes husband goes and he sees, oh, the family is not happy. When sometimes devotees would say that, have you forgotten reading Bhagavatam today, or have you not chanted your round? That's why you're looking morose. But he's not asking this question. He's asking the question, what have you had some discrepancies in following Dharma Artha Kama? Understanding this, let's understand the importance of Dharmartha Kama. Is it important now? Aditi is the mother of demigods. Why Dharmartha Kama? Let's understand today that what is the significance of following Dharmartha Kama in our daily life? Is it that Dharmartha Kama is also meant for devotees, or Dharmartha Kama is not meant for devotees, or Dharmartha Kama is completely bereft from the life of devotee? Or does Dharmartha Kama also have some significance in life of devotee? Or if it does not have significance, then why again Dharmartha Kama is mentioned in the Shastras? These are few questions. Here let's understand now. Okay. So let's read the purport now. Can someone read the purport?
In this verse, Aditi has been addressed by her husband Kashyapa Muni as Grahamedini, which means one who is satisfied in the household life for sense gratification. Generally, those who are in household life pursue sense gratification in the field of activities performed for material result. Such Grahamedis have only one aim in life, sense gratification. Therefore, it is said, Yain Maitunadi Grahamedi Sukhamituchum. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Please continue.
The householder's life is based on sense gratification, and therefore the happiness derived from it is very meager. Nonetheless, the Vedic process is so comprehensive that even in householder life, one can adjust his activities according to the regulative principles of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. One's aim should be to achieve liberation, but because one cannot at once give up sense gratification, in the Shastras there are injunctions prescribing how to follow the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification. As explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 129, Dharmasya hi apavargasya navto vatyapaklavate.
Ayopakalpayate. Yes, please. Yeah. Last one.
All occupational engagements are certainly meant for the ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Those who are in household life should not think that religion is meant to improve the process of householder's sense gratification. Household life is also meant for advancement in spiritual understanding, by which one can ultimately gain liberation from the material clutches. One should remain in household life with the aim of understanding the ultimate goal of life, Tattva-Gnasya. Then household life is as good as life of yogi. Kashyap Muni therefore inquired from his wife whether the principle of religion, economic development, and sense gratification were being properly followed in terms of the Shastric injunction. As soon as one deviates from the injunctions of Shastras, the purpose of household life is immediately lost in confusion. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Now, let's understand and the importance of dharma artha kam, because as you can see, or in fact moksha also, the question arises that, okay, let's understand what our discussion today. We'll be discussing today based on, is dharma artha kam compulsory for us, compulsory for sadhaka devotees? I'm not talking of the pure devotees. Sadhaka devotees, they need to do dharma artha kam, or moksha is definitely there. Or should one aspire to dharma artha kam or not? For that, we need to understand what's a real identity. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says about the real identity? A real identity is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Naham vipro cha narapate napi vaishyo na shudra Na ham varni cha grihapati na banosti yatiriva kintu prodyan nikhla parmananda purnamritat bher gopi bhartu padkamlyor das das anudasah. What is it? Naham Vipro, na Narapatir, na Vaishyo, na Shudro. I am not a Shudra, I am not a Vaishya, I am not a Kshatriya, not a Brahmana. Naham Varnija Grihapati, na Vanosti Yatirva. I am not a Brahmachari, I am not a Grihastha, I am not a Vanaprastha, I am not a sannyasi. Kintu Prodnya Nikhala Paramananda Purna Pratadver. Then what am I? Gopi Bhartu Padkamalior Das Das Anudasa. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis. That is the real identity, that we are the servant. Then why we need to dharmarthakam? Why is there is a need to do dharmarthakam? Why not devotional service? Why is that? Why is it that here Kashyapuni is asking Diti or Aditi rather that why looks like you have not done dharmarthakam? That's why you're not looking happy. Let's understand the difference. What is the difference between that takes us to the other step of understanding what is the difference between conditional duty and constitutional duty. Here, when we talk about Naham Vipro Chanarapati Namanosti Tirva, Nakintu Prodin Paramananda Purnam Tadver Gopi Bhartu Kamlo, Das Das Anudas, it is referring to a constitutional. Constitutional means that is a real identity, spiritual identity. Is that no, I do not belong to 4 Varnas, I do not belong to 4 ashramas. What I am spiritual. Then if I am spiritual, then why I need to follow the Varnashram? Varnashram means 4 ashrams, 4 Varna and 4 ashrams. Why I need to identify with that? Is it important that I need to identify with all those or not? So what is the difference between conditional duty or constitutional duty? Constitutional duty is what? I am not of any of the designation. I am the spirit soul. And conditional duty is that Vipro, Narapatir, Vaishyo, Shudro, Varni, Grihapatir, Vanostir, and Sannyas. All those things are what? All these things are said to be conditional duties. So what is a conditional state and constitutional state? That is what we try to understand. What is a conditional state? So when we understand the difference between, if we need to understand the difference between conditional duty and constitutional duty, it's important to understand that what is a conditional state and what is a constitutional state. What is a conditional state and what is a constitutional state? And therefore, from here we need to understand then, because conditional state, in order to perfect conditional state, we need to perform dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So what is conditional? Conditional state is that we have certain psychophysical nature. We have certain mindsets. We have certain bodily structures. And accordingly, we need to situate ourselves in the world. So according to our conditions. So how to overcome? So consistent state, whatever conditional, in order to overcome that conditional state, we need to follow dharma, artha, kama, so that we can approach to liberation. But purpose of all this is what? Atah Pumbi Duja Shrishta Varnashram Vibhagasha Swanishtasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshan. What is the perfection? Atah Pumbi Duja Shrishta Varnashram Vibhagasha. This, in order to situate everyone, those who are born in this planet, those born in this world, so that they live happily in this world also, and they perfect the life, both can be done. That is the Varnashram is been. Atah Pumbit Dvija Shrishta Varnashram Vibhagasha Swanishtasya Dharmasya. But to follow, but the purpose of Varnashram is what? Samsiddhir Haritoshan. The Samsiddhir Haritoshanam means if the Lord is not pleased, or we are not pleasing the Lord just following the rules and Varna and Ashram, then Lord is not pleased, then the perfection or the motive or the objective of performing the Varnashram is not satisfied. That is why it's very important for us that we need to understand that why we need to follow our Varna and Ashram. Why we need to do, is it important that we do Dharmarthakam or shouldn't we do Dharmarthakam? Should we follow Varnashram or shouldn't we follow Varnashram? Whereas here, Kashyap is directly saying, oh, it looks like you have done Dharmarthakam, therefore not looking happy. But sometimes it is seen that in devotional societies, we see that, oh, this is not important for devotees. This is not... that doesn't go well with devotees, then they perform dharmarthakam, right? So therefore, it's important to understand that is it important or not. So this is a course of discussion. And then if it is important, then why to implement, understand how to implement this. And what is the path by which we can implement Varnashram specifically. And who are ones who have to implement this? Who are the ones who will follow or who can implement Varnashram, and those who do not need to follow Varnashram? We'll discuss this today, as the whole topic is about Dharmarthka. So let's understand this from devotional qualification. What we are going to, the topic one, we're going to talk about limbs of bhakti. Then we are going to talk about the Gyan and Vairagya, is how it is interrelated. Then role of Varnashram, which leads to bhakti, and then specifically going to talk about establishing bhakti. In why we are discussing this? Because based on the purport, we're going to discuss primary and secondary benefits of bhakti. In Mahabharata Adi Parva, chapter 90, King Ashtak asked Maharaj Yayati, how can one attain higher destination in one's next life? How can it be possible? In order to answering King Ashtaka, Maharaj Yati says, Iti dadyam iti yagya adhiya iti vrata hi etani bhanya. He says that it's okay that you can give charity, you can perform sacrifices, you can study a lot of books, and you can perform many vows. But still you can be full of fear. The fear within the heart cannot go until unless you dedicate yourself to the Supreme Lord. So therefore, the important thing is that we may perform different activities, but if you are not able to satisfy the Supreme Lord, will not be able to perfect the life. So that is why it's important that the highest thing that, okay, in the verse it is said, or probably we do follow different rules and regulation, but importance of everything is what? Importance of everything is that we are na ham varno cha garapati na vaishnavi sudro kintu prodyan paramananda gopi bharto padkamlu das dasan das. That I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Shudra, I'm not have any designation. What am I? I'm the servant of the servant of the servant. Can someone read this? Limbs of Bhakti, devotional service. Yeah, please. Nutan Mataji.
Some scholars, limbs of bhakti, devotional qualification. Some scholars recommend that knowledge and renunciation are important factors for elevating oneself to devotional service. But actually, that is not a fact. Actually, the cultivation of knowledge or renunciation, which are favorable for achieving a footing in Krishna consciousness, may be accepted in the beginning, but ultimately they may also come to be rejected, for devotional service is dependent on nothing other than the sentiment or desire for such service. It requires nothing more than sincerity.
Thank you, Mataji. This was what we have to discuss. So I'm just trying to build the foundation of today's discussion, that Gyan, Vairagya, or other process like Varnashram, all these processes are important. Do not reject this process. This is part of Vedic. This is Vedic path. This is given that we should follow. But whether you talk about Gyan, whether you talk about Vairagya, whether you talk about Varnashram or Dharma, Artha, Kam, whatever it is for beginning only till we reach the starting of pure devotional service. Because pure devotional service is not based on any external qualification. That's what Rupa Goswami, in a very poetic language, he mentioned. Vyadasya charana durvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kim nu ramarup adhikam kim sudamo dhanam vamsha ko vidurasya yadava paterugrasya kim parushum bhakta tushyati kevalnada chaguner bhakti priyo madhava. Vyadasya charanam druvasya chavayam. What is the hunter, the dharma? There was a hunter called as Dharma, and he was a butcher. He was hunter, he was a butcher, doing so many, but he was a great devotee of the Lord. What is the piety? But still he got the mercy of the Lord. What is maturity of Dhruva? 5-year-old boy. स्थानभिलाषी तपसोस्थितो हम न प्राप्तवान देहम गुह्यम काचन विचन्म विधिव्रतनम स्वामी कृतार्थो न वरम न याचे. When Supreme Lord comes in front of him, he just offer obeisances and he says, my dear Lord, I wanted to have the kingdom which was equal to Lord Brahma, and I was doing so many austerities for that. I did an austerity, Dhruva did an austerity by which he sucked all the air of the universe. People, all the demigods were bewildered. Please help, my dear Lord. They went to Prishnigarva, Supreme Lord, and Prishnigarva gave darshan to Dhruva, and Dhruva feels My Lord, what was your maturity? I just wanted to get my kingdom greater than my great grandfather, but this is just a broken piece of glasses. You are giving me diamond. And Gajendra's knowledge. Vyadasya Chandravasya Chavayo Vidya Gajendrasya Ka. What is knowledge? He's an elephant. What is knowledge of an elephant? He cannot. And look at this. Gajendra getting pure devotion service. Vamsha ko Vidursya Prabhu. How is Vidura born? He's born from maid servant, and he is such a great devotee of Lord. Ugrasya Kim Parasham. Ugrasen Maharaj, he was thrown from the kingdom. What was the power he had? Bhakti Kevala Najakuden. There is no external qualification for doing devotional service, neither Gyan, neither Vairagya, neither Varnashana. What is the main qualification? It's only by devotion service that one will able to please Mother. That is what Rupa Goswami is talking about. That no, all these things are not required. One ashram is not required. What is required? Required is to only devotional service. One devotee, he wanted to take initiation, and so because you want to take initiation, then some of the authorities told either you need to get married or join temple. Unless you are not in ashram, we cannot give you initiation. Now this is not devotional service here, because devotional service means there is no external designation. And there was asked someone, it was someone was asked like that, and then in so one devotee, in fact, he was divorced also. And then someone told that until and unless you get married, again, same thing, unless you get married or join ashram, you cannot get initiation. But this is not probably, this is not in the fold of devotional service. So that is why whether we are following Gyan, Vairagya, Yoga, whatever, there are different paths. Ashtanga Yoga, there are different paths. One is the path of Ashtanga. So Ashtanga, first is one is path of Bhogi. Bhogi means enjoyment. Life is for him, life is recreation. What is for him? The life is what? Rinam Kritam Kritam Vived Yavajivat Sukham Jivet Bhasmi Bhutasya Dehasta Kim Punaragamo Bhavet. Let enjoy life king size and just be up. Just be up to the mark. Just be good and just be just have a great life. Just enjoy. Take loan and drink ghee. That means just enjoy to whatever cost it makes to enjoy. Don't worry about the results. So that is what life of appreciation lives, just life of recreation. Rather than appreciation, life of recreation. And a yogi, if you see, he lives a life of rejection. Everything, neti, the Brahm Satyam, Jagat Mithya, everything is just boring. Everything is unreal here. So he lives a life, therefore he keeps rejecting. One time, Srila Prabhupada, one yogi, one Gyanis, his disciple came and said, Prabhupada, he showed a picture to Prabhupada and said, can you do this? And he saw a picture, and in picture he saw that one Swami wearing saffron. A lot of money was given to him, and he was doing like this. No. Prabhupada said, you bring all the money and I will just embrace it. So he said, my goodness, what is this? Prabhupada said, no, anything can be applied in devotional service. So that's what we see, that most of the and then reciprocation. Bhakti is a devotee, he lives a life of reciprocation. Life of reciprocation means he is completely dedicated to the Supreme Lord. So this is three different, what you say, so he lives a life of reconnection. So appreciation, rejection, and reconnection. So therefore, a devotee has to live a life of reconnection. So what is definition of bhakti? First of all, so we will try to make what I'm trying to, you must be thinking that where we are going. We have to understand, before we discuss Varnashram, therefore we have to understand bhakti before. What is bhakti? Different devotees define bhakti different way. Srila Vyasadeva, Sri Garg Muni, Great Sri Randalya Muni, Narada Muni, Sri Rupa Goswami, or Madhusudan Saraswati. Srila Vyasadeva says, Pujadishiv Anuraga iti parasharyaha. What is the meaning or definition of bhakti according to Srila Vyasadeva? He says, bhakti means fond attachment of worshipping Lord in various ways. Narada Bhakti Sutra, it is mentioned. Pujadishva Anuragiti Parasharya. That's why I talk about Shri Vishnu Parikshita Bhavat Vyasakhi. Means bhakti can be performed by any of the attachment. And that is why Rupa Goswami, somewhere he mentions, Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshita Bhavat Vyasakhi Kirtane Prahlad Smarane Tat Angri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithur Pujane Akrurastu Abhivandane Kavipate Dasya Thato Sakya Arjuna Sarva Swatma Nivedene Balir Krishna Patir Esham Para. Anyone, Shravanam Krishna Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Any one of these 9 limbs can be performed, and bhakti means fond attachment to any of them will take you to perfection. Like for Sri Vishnu Parikshita Bhavat, by hearing process Parikshit got perfection. Sukdev Goswami got perfection by speaking. Prahlad got perfection by remembering. Lakshmi got perfection by massaging the Lord by Pad Sevanam. And Akrura got perfection by Vandanam, by offering praise to the Lord. Akru's Abhivandane Kavit. Prithu got perfection by doing deity worship. And then Arjun got perfection by being a friend to the Lord. Balli Maharaj got perfection by surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Hanuman got perfection by being the servant of the Lord. Akurustu Abhivandane Kavipatir. Kavipatir means the Hanuman got perfection like that. Sarva Swat Nivedana Vibhut Krishna Patiresham. Likewise, we can also get perfection. So here, Srila Vyasdev, he's saying, Pujadeshu Anurag iti Parasharya. Means that, what is the definition of bhakti he's saying? Means fond attachment for worshipping the Lord in various ways. Various ways mean all the 9 ways one can worship. Srila Prabhupada, one time, devotees in New Vrindavan, there one time so happened during Janmashtami, all devotees, they were reading Krishna book. It was about to, there were 2-3 hours still to break fast. And then first chapter, devotees, no, there was Krishna book, the devotees were reading. At the end of first chapter got over. And then they all shouted, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada said, no problem. Next chapter. Second chapter, devotees shouted at the end of the second chapter. All devotees shouted, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhupada said, go on. The third chapter now. And third chapter, devotees were completely exhausted and mumbled, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And Srila Prabhupada said, no problem, you are all tired, go and take prasadam. It was 2 o'clock in the night. So that's how someone is too attached to devotional service. He does not feel the effect of time or anything else. So that's why we see that, okay, let's go on another one. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada was that kind of devotee. Sri Garg Muni, what is the definition according to Garg Muni? According here also, Narada Bhakti Sutra mentioned, bhakti means, Garg Muni means Kathadeshu iti Garga. Kathadeshu means, again, always who is reciting the names of the Lord. That's Kathadeshu Garga. In fact, he is saying that, so therefore, the attachment he's talking about. Let's move to Sri Shandalya Muni. Atmarati avirodhaneti means what? That's Atmarati avirodhaneti. Shandalya Muni says that bhakti means taking unobstructed pleasure in self. Too much, one who takes so lot of pleasure within self, he is called to be Atmarati Avirodhaneti. For example, Parikshit Maharaj. We know Parikshit Maharaj, when he just was a new lad, 16, he came as a 16-year-old lad. He just did not had even clothes on his body. He just walked out. And when he's walking out, there are women who is taking bath, bathing in the pond without clothes. In fact, and he's completely oblivious to it. He's not. So Atmaratit Avirodhaneti, he's completely oblivious. You know, Srila Prabhupada also, he would, in America, he would go to a place called in the morning, it was gathering called Star Ranch. So he would go there, and this morning Star Ranch, there were naked hippie community. Well, of course, there's a community called as Star Ranch, and this community was known for naked hippie community, where young teenager boys and girls would come stay there, and without a single piece of cloth, they would be sitting. And Srila Prabhupada, what he would just go and do kirtan over there, or even read Bhagavad Gita or give Bhagavad Gita classes. Atmaratir Avirodhaneti. Such kind of people can only do that. So who are completely taking unobstructed pleasure in self. So that is according to Shandalya Muni. Narada Muni. Narada Muni says, Naradastu apratika khila charata. What does it mean? Narada Muni says, bhakti means offering one's every act. Nardas to tad aprita akhila charata means offering every act to the Supreme Lord and feeling extreme distress of forgetting. So if there is and everyone is pleading, oh, I have forgotten the Supreme Lord, that is Srimrityo Satatam Vishnu Vishmatyo Jaduchit Sarva Vithi Nishedasur Etiyareva Kinkara. That is also said. That's Smartadam Satyam Satatam Vishnu Vishmatyo Jaduchit. What is the sutra? Sutra is that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Sri Narada Muni says, how is it? Bhakti means offering one's every act to the Supreme, feeling extreme distress in forgetting. So that's what Narada Stat Aprita Akhila Charata. Srila Prabhupada said that I was tested twice in my life. When everything was taken away from me, my business was taken, my everything from my life was taken, and I was completely, I was not, everything was taken from me, and I was, sorry. Sorry. Yeah. So here we talk about Gata Sarveshe Manosovrittir Bhaktir Eta Abhidiyate. So here, Rupa first talk about Rupa Goswami. Srila Prabhupada, yeah, they are talking about. Yeah, Narad Muni question. Narad Muni is saying about that how Srila Prabhupada said, I was tested twice. When everything was taken away from me and when everything was given to me. In both situations, what I learned to take shelter of Supreme Lord. So that's what. And then Srila Rupa Goswami, what he says, Sarvopadin Vinurupuktam Tatpratena Nirmalam Rishikena Rishikesha Sevnam Bhakti Ruchute. What he said, he says that Sarvopadim Vinurupuktam. That is what? That everything, the act of engaging Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam Tat Pratvenan Rishikena Rishikesha. What is the purpose of engaging the senses? Senses should be freed from all designation. Sarvopadi Vinurmuktam. I am now हम वर्णि चग्रहपति नावनोस्तित्वा किंतु प्रोज्ञान परमानंद निखला पूर्णानंदाद where gopi bhartu pad kamlyo das das anudas. That is what is no designations. That is the act of engaging senses that are freed from designation, purified by unflinching dedication. That is said to be the service of the Rishikesh. There is, that's what is been talked about. Like in Bhavanand Prabhu, once the Bhavanand Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, I think many of us know him. Bhavanand Prabhu was connected to Hollywood before he joined the Hare Krishna movement. So Srila Prabhupada, they were going across. And when he was going across this Hollywood hill, and Bhavanand Prabhu was quite excited. It was a wonderful scenic place. And he was telling Prabhupada, this is this, and that is that. And Prabhupada could understand that Bhavanand Prabhu is a little distracted. Prabhupada spat on that hill. He said, all rubbish. So that's why we see that here, that's why we see that it is, Prabhupada said, no, you have to come above all different designations. That's pure devotional service. Sri Madhusadan Saraswati, Gata Sarveshe Manoso Vittir Bhaktir Abhidhiyate. What is Mano? He's saying Gata Sarveshe Manovrittir Bhaktir Iti Abhidhiyate. By executing the activities of Bhagavad Dharma, what happens? The mind tendencies melts. Mind and Gata Sarvesha Manoso Vritte. Mind tendency melts in what? Because mind just generally attracted to today's. I heard that there is a match and everyone may be glued right now to TV. Why? Because mind is generally attracted to things of worldly nature, worldly gratification of different kind. But here, of course, we may not be at that platform, but that is pure devotional service. Gata sarveshe manovrittir bhaktir ityavideyate. By executing the activities of Bhagavad Dharma, the melted tendencies of mind flow stream towards the Supreme Lord. And such bhakti is known as, such tendencies is known as, naturally, once mind just flows to Supreme Lord. Krishna, one time, he was sleeping and he was chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. He was in the palace of Krishna there. And it was dinner time. Krishna told Rukmani, just go and see what Arjun hasn't come till now. Rukmani Devi goes and then sees that, oh, Arjun, he was saying Krishna, Krishna, just sleeping and saying Krishna, Krishna. And then after a long time, she was completely stunned. And after some time, he sent Satyabham because Rukmani did not come. And then when she goes there, Sati Mom is also startled completely, surprised, aghast. See, Krishna, Krishna, he's sleeping and chanting Krishna. We chant and sleep. We sleep, well, Arjuna sleeps, he chants Krishna, and when we chant, we sleep. That's the other way around with us. So here we see Gata Sarvesha Manosu Vrittir Bhaktir Itya Vidhiyate. That is that everyone, that is the nature of by mind. The tendencies of mind in such a way, it melts down in such a way that automatically it flows towards Krishna. So that is what we see, that in this way we can understand the. But now I talk about an ideal level. It's a very, very high level. What now to talk about? Let's talk about our level. Are we at this level? Please poll out. How many of us are at this level? Please tell me. How many of us believe that we are at this level? Or how many of us believe that we are not at this level? Yeah? Okay. One answer, few more. Okay. Most of us, we can say that we are aspiring to be at this level, right? So what should we do, right? What should we earn? This is a very, very high level, and we are we are somewhere, we are far from it. So let's understand this. Therefore, there is a bridge. Before we come to this level, we need to perform duties. This is a constitutional. All this we talk about is a real, pure nature. But before that, we need to do some conditional duties. Conditional duties to purify conditional nature and that will move us towards constitutional nature, right? Okay, someone can read this role of Varnashram.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It is the opinion of expert devotees that mental speculation and the artificial austerities of yoga practice may be favorable for becoming liberated from material contamination, but they will also make one's heart harder and harder. They will not help at all in the progress of devotional service. These processes are therefore mm, not favorable for entering into the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Actually, Krishna consciousness devotional service itself is the only way of advancing in devotional life. Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you, Balaji. So here, as we talk about, here still we are talking a little about, you can say, pure devotional service. But when you talk about our next level, that is why we need to perform Varnashram. See, in the purport, here Prabhupada mentions about Dharmartha Kam. And it's important for devotees, those of us who are still on following Vaidhi Bhakti, to perform that. But the question arises that, so one way is to perform Varnashram. So should we perform Varnashram or not? So when we perform Varnashram, as we go, that we'll talk about soon, that there are different levels of consciousness. In order to upgrade our consciousness, suppose we are not at the level of pure bhakti. So what should we do then? We can't imitate that level. Is there any ladder? Is there any process? Is there any step? Yes, there is a step by given in the Vedas itself. And Krishna conscious process itself tells that one can perform Varnashram dharma, the conditional duties, in order to reach out the pure constitutional duty. That's important. And for that, what happens? We need vidya. We need education. Education of what? Education of conditional duties and education of constitutional duties. When we have both vidya of conditional duties and constitutional duties, what happens? Our vichar. Vichar means our thought, the way we think, it changes. And when we think, the way we think, it changes, then we get vivek. Vivek means from vidya comes with good vichar, from vichar comes vivek. Vivek means intelligence to accept, to understand what to give up, what not to give up. What to accept in bhakti, what to reject in bhakti. Anukulya sankalpasya pratikulya sa varjanam. गुप्तत्वे विश्वासो दक्षति विश्वासो गुप्तत्वे वर्णम तथा आत्मनिक्षेप कार्पण्य षड विधा शरणागति. Main thing is अनुकूल्य से, what to accept, प्रतिकूल्य से वर्जनम. अनुकूल्य sankalpa, take the things which are favorable for devotional service and reject things which are not favorable for devotional service. That is vivek would come. And from vivek, humility comes. Humility comes what? That who am I? What is my real identity? And from there comes purification. Purification means vimal. Our heart becomes soft. And from soft, that heart starts taking to pure devotional service and finally vimukti, liberation. How it starts? It starts with Vidya. Vidya transforms into Vichar. Vichar transforms into Vivek. Vivek transforms into Vinay. Vinay transforms into Vimal, purification of the heart. And Vimal would take us to Vimukti. So that is what. Otherwise, you see, when you talk about conditional states, one can be very high. Shringi was a Brahmana. Parishit Maharaj was Kshatriya. But who was more advanced? Who was more advanced? Shringi could not control his anger. But look at Parikshit, even though he was cursed, did not try to retaliate. Even though he had a power to retaliate, he could have, in fact, overcome the curse also. He had that much power, but he did not. Shringi was a Brahmana. Parikshit was a Kshatriya. Who is more advanced? Druvasa, Brahmana, yogi, very strong yogi. But Amrish, a Grihastha, a king. Here is Druvasa, a yogi, a Brahmana, sannyasi. And here is Amrish. Amrish is a king. He is a Grihastha. But what Druvasa could not have the power to forgive. A small mistake of just drinking water before the arrival of the guest. Before small mistake of Amrish couldn't be tolerated by Durvasa. But look at Amrish, a great mistake, a blunder could be easily, he could forgive that blunder so easily. Why? Devotee of the Lord. And then we understand Ramvaha was turned into a stone by Vishwamitra Muni, a yogi, a very, very strong yogi, performing austerities for thousands of years. When Rama comes to dissuade Vishwamitra, because he fell for Manika, he thought this he has come to dissuade, made just glanced at Rama, completely turned into stone. And on the other hand, we have Narnaran Rishi, who comes, of course, they themselves are incarnation of God, but as a devotee, they have come to perform austerities. And they said, oh, Indra felt insecure, sent so many apsaras. They did not, so many apsaras were there, was not one, there were so many thousands of apsaras were there to dissuade, but opened their eyes, said, no problem. Okay, Urvashi come, and Urvashi comes from Thai and says, okay, give this gift to Indra. So therefore, here we see that who is greater. Now coming to the point here, yes, Varnashram. So why, though bhakti is very high, Varnashram is recommended. Two, because it becomes an ascending steps to bhakti. Why? Because we are a different consciousness. You see, we are of a different, in human cycle, we have 4 lakh species. And this 4 lakh species can be categorized, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, there's this 4 lakh species can be categorized into these 5 categories. One, people are few outside Varnashram. They cannot even follow because they are so sinful. Their mindsets are completely, one can say, inert. Their consciousness is very low. So therefore, that low consciousness people, they cannot understand. So first, let us talk about the whole, the living systems, or probably whole 84 lakh species. So 84 lakh species, they are divided into 5 categories. One is inert consciousness. Inert consciousness are someone like stones, those living stones, or probably we can say trees. Their consciousness is there, but they're very inert. They do not have very great sensation of pain probably, or they don't have that responsive sense. So one is inert. Then we have covered consciousness, where we have animals. Then we have called third kind of consciousness is said to be budding consciousness. Budding consciousness means which is like a bird. Bird, you see the flowers before flower blossoming, we have bird. So this bird consciousness is human consciousness. And this human consciousness are categorized in 3. One is budding consciousness, one is blossoming consciousness, one is blossomed consciousness. So when consciousness is, or the consciousness is inert or covered, you will not be able to access the subtleties more. So therefore, animals and plants, they come mostly into inert consciousness and covered consciousness. But when you talk about human people, human are in these 3 categories: budding consciousness, blossoming consciousness, and blossomed consciousness. Now, let's talk about the 5, or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 5 different categories of human civilization. All human civilization can be categorized into these 5 categories. First are the people who have, but though they're in budding consciousness, but their consciousness is so low that they cannot be integrated even in Varnashram. They need purification to set into Varnashram because very simple people. So therefore, Kirita, Hundra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Bira, Shumba, Yavanakashadi, Annecha, Papa, Pasha, Asha, Sadsudhyanti, Tasme, Pravishnave, Namo Nama. Very Kirita, Pundra, Hulinda, Pulkasha, those people those who are meat eaters, hunters, and very low kind of consciousness, those who have. So they are outside Varnashram. Second, people are atheistic moralist. Atheistic moralist means what? They they live in moral. They live a good life. They live a pious, not kind of pious life, but externally they don't harm people. They may say that we should save dogs but kill cows. You see, so this atheistic moralist probably we should just not grow tulsi. Rather than growing tulsi, we should eat brinjal because brinjal at least gives some food. But what tulsi is just leaf. So why do you worship tulsi? If you really want to worship tulsi, better than worship tulsi, you worship bagun, means brinjal, because brinjal at least gives you food. Tulsi is just a leaf. This kind of atheistic moralist people. This is said to be atheistic moralist. And above that, the consciousness of people who comes to be theistic moralist. Theistic moralist, what are theistic moralists? Theistic moralists are the people who follow Varnashram. Jato Shaddasmatkatasu Nirvinna Sarvakarmashu, Veda Dukhatmakam Kaman Parityagya Nishura. Theistic moralist people they are not devotees, but they believe in piety. So they are people who follow Varnashram system. Because Varnashram also includes because there are many rules in Varnashram. It's not about just living as a Varna and Ashram, but there are different pujas and different rules and regulations to be followed to worship the demigods. So that's one thing. And then we have, we can say, the other step is Vedi Bhakta. What are the Vedi Bhaktas? Vedi Bhaktas are the devotees who are like many of us, who are practicing devotees. They're not perfected, they're practicing devotees. They're still on their journey to perfect their lives. They are the third ones. And then above that are called Raganuga Bhaktas. Raganuga Bhaktas are what? Raganuga Bhaktas are spontaneous devotees. So these are the 5 different categories of the devotees. Now, explaining about, okay. Now let's understand how do we move about our evolution. So first thing which we need to understand here is, just a while. There are 4 levels of evolution. Now, as I talked about 5 levels right now for the devotees, there are 5 different levels of devotees and 4 levels of evolution. First is the life of instant gratification. So what is the life of instant gratification? Instant gratification means life of materialist. Which category they should fall in? Can someone tell me? Which category they should fall in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which category should they fall in?
Is it 3, Prabhuji?
Yeah, instant
3.
gratification. Instant gratification.
1.
Instant gratification means they don't want to any religion they are not concerned with. Instant gratification. Instant gratification mostly out first and 2 because they don't believe in including any kind of religion. So instant gratification, they fall basically here because what is their motto? Their motto is work, earn, buy, enjoy. That is the motto. Work, earn, buy, enjoy. Your pleasures, that's whole pleasure seeking. Idam kritva ghritam pimet yava jivet sukham jitvet bhasmi bhutasya dehasya kim punaragam. That we do not have to kim punaragam method. Let's keep coming again. The life is meant for just for enjoyment because we get only one life. Outside Varnashram or atheistic people, they don't believe in next life. So therefore, what they do, just have drugs, enjoy life. Rinam kritva ghitam pivet. Second category of when people get a little more evolved, they go for delayed gratification. Delayed gratification means what? Dependence on demigods. And now tell me which category here they would fall in. Delayed gratification, dependence on demigod. They want to gratify themselves and they have dependence on supreme lord. Which category would they fall in? Not this one. I am here. Which category would they fall in?
They have faith in Lord, no, Prabhuji.
They have
So
faith in
is
God,
it
yes. Yes,
theistic moralist this time?
exactly. Theistic moralist. So here are the people who are theistic moralist people. Those who believe in karma kand, those who believe in varnashram. Varnashram people are also those who can follow karma kand. So here are the people one who can follow. You see, here delayed gratification. Delayed gratification depends on demigods. In wherein the fact is what they have understood, because we get we electricity. We get, suppose we are getting electricity from the government, we get water from the government, we get so many facilities from the government. Likewise, we also have we get rains, we get sun's heat, we get different things from demigods. So that's why we are indebted to them, and in that way they take the process of, they know that okay fine, we want something in life, we want wealth, we want our marital partners, we want different things in life. So for that what we need to do, we need to they understand that microcosmic level also there are the higher authorities. Like for the government we have electricity, government for, or the in charges for electricity, telephone, or different things. Likewise, at a microcosmic level also they are dependent on higher authorities, and that is why we have Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Shiva, Ganesh, so many demigods who would what they do. There are 33 crore personalities giving different things in life, and that is why they would take the path of worship in form of while doing varnashram system. They would depend on demigods. So they delayed gratification. They just don't want anything. Just they don't want to snatch, but rather than by their prayers, by their supplication towards the demigods, they want to probably procure all those. So there's a second one. Third is overcoming gratification. Overcoming gratification comes at the fourth level, specifically at the devotee's level. Sadhaka devotee. Sadhaka devotee, what he says, he would like to, he understand that exactly fourth one. So fourth one, because this is where he would delayed gratification, overcoming gratification can be done in two times. So when he understands, specifically sadhakas also, when before this they understand that they also, they mostly people who are in delayed gratification, they are in mode of repent and repair. Repent and repair means what? Repent and repair. Repent means that after enjoying a lot, like Yayati Maharaj, he enjoyed so many thousands of years the sex life, because he Devyani, not yeah, yeah, I think Yayati Maharaj only. So yeah, Devyani and Sarmishta, both of them were married somehow, and then because of some reasons he got a curse that you cannot enjoy sex life for a long time now. The nuptial relationships you cannot enjoy. And so therefore he begged, that curse was given by Shukracharya. And then Yati Maharaj begged that, no, I am such young and look at me, your daughter is also married. So that's why he was given the youth of one of his children. And after enjoying thousands of years also, he says that I am not feeling satisfied. So that's how it happens. That when people see that, oh, I this is not satisfying. The worldly life doesn't satisfy. That means that happiness is not here. So repent and then start repairing. Oh no, they start looking for something higher. Because after enjoying for a long time, nothing is happening. I'm not feeling satisfied, I'm not feeling enjoyment. Then they feel that, okay, there's something else. So what they get into the mode, they from the repent, repair mode, they want to prevent and prepare mode. Prevent and prepare mode means higher stage. Prevent, do something and prepare for something higher. Prevent, make life in such a way that we don't have to suffer. How, what, in order to prevent from repent and repair, what they need to do, they have to prepare. How they want to do prepare? By performing devotional service. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yad gatvan nirvartante tat eva. Oh, what is that verse? Yad gatvan nirvartante tad dham paramam mama. So once you go there, you don't have to return. So prevent and prepare. Higher stage, sadhana bhakti. So sadhana bhakti is for that. Because, and that's why they are very careful. Because, specifically in the uh, path of gratification is very dangerous some, because one may be thinking that okay fine, mm, I can by enjoy more and more, and then we'll try to go to a higher step. Why should you straight away take to sadhana bhakti? But we don't know, even though the Vedas, they tell us that okay fine, you enjoy a lot, because that's what the Vedas are meant like that. Vedas are meant that you enjoy for a long time and then you give up things. But then in that path is very dangerous, because even though that is given, but as Bhagavad Gita says, Bhagavad Gita talks about that yatatopi kaunteya purusasya vipashyatya and the force of gratification is so strong that even intelligent people can be deviated. Yatato api kaunteya purusasya vipashyata. Indrani pramathini, because the senses are so strong that even people, those who have good deliberation, those people who have good intelligence, Indrani pramathini haranti prasabham mana. That even though the senses are so strong, one person may be very fixed, even that person, his consciousness can also be deviated. He can know at no time, person can say that, okay, fine, let me follow the path of gratification, and in that path I'll be successful. Because like one person, he was a very expert parachute glider. 9,999 times he was successful. But when he jumped for 10,000 times, somehow or other that day, the wind was drifted him to a very long distance. And he landed up in a river which was full with alligators. That was his last descent. So that's how the mind is. That mind is very paramatmiti. It's maddening. So that is why it is recommended that the path of delayed gratification generally would be very much delayed. Means it, sorry, not very much delayed, in the sense that the part of delayed gratification can keep us a long time in cycle of material world. So that is why it is better to take the path of sadhana bhakti, prevent and prepare rather than repent and repair, because repent and repair would take us a lot of time. Therefore, we see the path of Bharat Maharaj also, Vishwamitra, so many, they were doing sadhana. But what happens that they, I mean, of course, there are different examples to say, but that is why sadhana bhakti has to be taken, so that we can easily able to overcoming gratification means take to sadhana bhakti, and by sadhana bhakti one be able to overcome these all mm, obstacles, which is a lot in delayed gratification. Specifically, when we talk about here, they have 4 phases. When someone is performing sadhana bhakti, now when you start performing sadhana bhakti, very first is that no success, no struggle. No success, no struggle means first is, when we talk about the first level, is this one, instant gratification. Instant gratification means I'm not caring about life. So there is no struggle and there is no success also in this stage. But then a person goes to the second level, no success but struggle. One struggles, but there is no success. So it could be, it's not about delayed gratification, but when person starts trying to overcome gratification, one person starts preparing, one will struggle, but there was no success. Third place comes when there is struggle, success with struggle. Once struggles, like in sadhana bhakti, we're chanting for a long time and we start saying, oh, the mind is coming in control now. My senses are coming in control now. Likewise, success and struggle. And finally, we have success and no struggle. It becomes very, we can say, obvious, very spontaneous for a devotee to practice Krishna consciousness. So that is the we can say, different struggles. So therefore, we see that change has to come from within. And the path of coming change from within is this. That firstly, we see internal change, no external change. There will be no internal change also, no external change also. After some time, there will be external change, but no internal change. Means external change means, okay, a sadhana bhakta specifically, we're talking about the third stage now, overcome gratification. A sadhana bhakta may start chanting rounds, may wearing tilak, may eating prasad, but then you will feel, oh, the consciousness is still there. My consciousness is not changing. What is happening? So external change, but no internal change. But no problem. He goes to the third level. Internal change and no external change. Internal change means internal change is happening. One still maybe looking like a worldly class, who may be mingling with the worldly class, doing all worldly activities, but internal change is happening. And finally, there will be internal change and external change. The devotee completely becomes, in fact, oblivious to the world also. There's the final stage where the heart is all changed and external activities also stopped. So that is where we see that this level we talk about this level of overcoming gratification. It is slow and steadily. One moves above and above, and then one transcends gratification finally. Transcends gratification means this is a stage where, so this is whole level from gratification to emancipation. Gratification to emancipation means that how a person will able to overcome all different levels of, we will be able to transcend the obstacles in life. So here of specifically spiritual life, overcoming gratification is much related to sadhana bhakti. Delayed gratification is related to the varnashram. Transcendent gratification is related to the pure devotional service. As I was talking about these stages, you can see that we were talking about here these three: outside varnashram and atheistic moralist, probably they are mostly into, as we have talked about, theistic moralistic as level of, when we talk about delayed gratification. They want things, and for getting worldly things, they go to demigods or Supreme Lord also. And where the sadhana bhaktis are at the level of overcoming, they're struggling sadhakas. They don't want it. So what they are trying to do, they're trying to change their URL, because by URL, by default, when you write G, it will show gratification. What they are saying, when G will come, deliberate, they were putting no gratification instead of that. So they are trying to clean their minds up, and therefore they're changing their mindset towards pure devotional service. And finally, Ragunanga Bhaktas are, we talk about the final, they have completely transcended the gratification, where external and internal both are changed. There is no connection with the worldly things now. So therefore, we see that Ragunanga Bhaktas specifically are the high, they reach to the highest level. They have reached to the level of, you can say, they have reached to the level of transcending gratification. So that's how the human can say that human life ascends itself to this level. Therefore, if we go back to the verse, here in the verse talks about dharma artha kam, but this is meant for people to do when they are not at the level of pure devotion service. So that is also important. In order to, the purpose is what? Purpose is that it gives a ladder to step on to the path of bhakti. That is why it is mentioned over there. Yes, let's understand. So, because we are right now, goals of varnashram and other processes are achieved by bhakti only. As Krishna also tells in 11th canto, what he says, yat karmani yat karma bhi yat tapsa jnana vairagya shayat yogena dharam dharmena shiro bhitriyavi sarvan bhakti yogena mad bhakti labhati anjasa sarva parga mad dhama kathanchit yati vanchati. My devotee will not be bereft of anything, because whatever, everything that can be achieved by fruitive activities, everything which is achieved by penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, yat karmi yat tapsa jnana vairagya shayat yat yogena dharma yadmena. Sometimes devotees think, oh, are we missing on something? So everything which can be achieved by penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, charity, Krishna was saying that can be easily performed or achieved by my devotee very easily. My devotee desire, because why? Because my devotee even not desires all these things, because he has transcended to all these desires. Because people do penance for what? Some kind of power, knowledge to show to the world, detachment sometimes to show, again, it's your self-achievement, mystic yoga to gain some siddhis, to manipulate others, charity, religious duties to gain some kind of piety so that they enjoy better. Krishna is saying devotees actually are not interested in all this. Why? Because they're completely have their mind on me. So sarvamat bhakti yogena mat bhakti labde anjasa. This happiness is very easily achieved by a devotee. Therefore, Rupa Goswami, what he says, kasyana cha bhojanadi nimanna vane vasato vyakhyanat atva muni vrita bharak chitto bhava shiyate kintu svita kalin dishalatanya tiri shuvi kirito govindasya padar vinda bhajana le bhajana brahmasya leshadapi. It is not by wearing saffron one perfects life. It is not. Kasyanacha bhojani nimanna vanivasu. It is not that by wearing saffron perfects life. It is not that by performing moderation, eating in moderation one perfects life. It is not by living in solitude one perfects life. It is not by observing silence one perfects life. It is not just by reducing material desires one perfects life. What is the main thing? One perfects life. Govinda se padar vinda bhajana brahmasya leshadapi. What is the main thing? Main thing is that when one begins to worship, Govind Dev. One starts to begin the Supreme Lord. Then what happened? One will able to completely uproot the lusty desires within the heart. And the purification, more we are able to purify ourselves through performance. So whatever stage we are, we need to understand that. So here, the bhakti again is said to be more important than anything. So one bhakta, his name was Bhakti Sar. And he was Chakra, he was the incarnation of Chakra of Krishna. Always absorbed in Krishna's service, always there. So this mentioned in Brahma Vaivarat Puran, Lord Shiva and Parvati, they were sharing private time. So here, what happened that Lord Shiva and Parvati, they came, and we know that Lord Shiva and Parvati, if even wherever the shadow falls, of Shiva and Parvati, that person becomes very prosperous. And this devotee, whose name was this devotee of Krishna, this Vishnu, Lord Krishna, he was always meditating on Lord. Now, when Lord Shiva and Parvati they were going, they saw, oh, look at this devotee, he's so poor, and he was a very poor person. So he would just somehow other meagerly, he was always absorbed in Krishna, eating very meagerly, and looked very poor like that. Then Parvati thought, my dear Lord, let us show some mercy to this devotee. Lord Shiva says, no, no, Bhavani, not Bhavani, he is a devotee of Vishnu. He would not like anything except bhakti. No, every want in this material world is wanting something. That's why he must be doing some austerity to get something. So let's go. He's such a poor and such sincere person. Let us show some mercy. He comes and then he sees, oh, Lord Shiva and Parvati, he just pays obeisances, gets up. Lord Shiva says, we are very happy to see your austerity. Ask something. He said, no, I'm full. I don't want anything. Parvati says, no, definitely you should ask. Lord Shiva is asking. He said, okay, my dear Lord Shiva, can you give me one extra day to live? Lord Shiva says, no, that's not my jurisdiction. Look, okay, Lord Shiva, can you give me some extra, can you give me liberation? Lord Shiva says, no, that is also not my jurisdiction. And then he says, okay, Lord Shiva, my one button, it has fallen down. Can you sew it for me? Now hearing it, when he kind of tuck someone's button, Lord Shiva, Parvati was just beside Lord Shiva. She felt very agitated. She felt insulted. Oh, Lord Shiva, he's saying to tuck button. And Lord Shiva should tuck his button. Felt very agitated. He said, Lord Shiva, we must punish this man. He is very proud. Lord Shiva said, yes. So he opened his third eye, started pouring lot of, means a strand of fire was just straight away went to the body. But that time, this is the devotee, Bhakti Sar, he just elevated himself. And then he became so angry. What? He can just dodge against me? Then he started creating a lot of wind, lot of cloud, lot of rain. And then this devotee was completely absorbed. He just prayed to Krishna. Nothing happened to him. Lord Shiva was startled. Even Parvati was startled. And Lord Shiva, in fact, became happy. He said, look at him. What kind of bhakti you have towards Krishna that you are not ready for anything other than bhakti of Lord Krishna. And that's what his name was Trimul Sai. And therefore, his name was given Bhakti Sar. Because he was always absorbed in bhakti, he wants nothing. नित्यकर्मभिर एक तपसा ज्ञान वैराग्य चयत योगेना धारण धर्मेना शिरोभरी तेरे अपि सर्वं भक्ति योगेना मद भक्ति लभते अंजसा सर्वपर्ग मद्धामा कथंचति यदि वंचति. That whatever is there in material things are there, my devotee does not aspire because it's completely absorbed in me. So here his name was Trimul Sai. Trimul Sai or Trimul Sar, and then Lord Shiva said, from now onwards, because so much absorbed in bhakti, your name will be Bhakti Sar. So that is how Lord Shiva benedicts him. And this is how we can see that this is how the devotee is so absorbed. And when devotee who is absorbed that much, if a devotee is absorbed that much and his consciousness of that level, for him, Gyan Vairagya, we talk about Gyan Vairagya or probably any other path, a Dharmartha Kam Moksha is not required. So going on here specifically, when this verse talks about Api Vakushalam Kinchit Grihishu Griha Medhani Dharma Sarthasya Kamasya Yatra Yogi Yoginam. What does it mean? It means that we have started from here. It means that what he's asking, that have you missed something performing Artha Dharma Kam? Yes. If we are not at that level, we need to perform our duties, worldly duties also. And devotees, of course, devotees have to not be more worried about performing ritualistic activities. But sadhana bhakta specifically, they have to follow the do's and don'ts of devotional service. So that's what we discussed today. We discussed about dharma, artha, kam, moksha. Is it compulsory for us? Sadhana bhaktas? No. But in order to purify, we need to follow varnashram. So what is the real identity we discussed about? What is the naham varnicha griha pratina manasto yatirva? And what is the difference between conditional duty and constitutional duty? That what we discussed. And what is the conditional state and constitutional state that we discussed about? And how do we implement the path by which we, from a conditional state, we go to a constitutional state? And there we discussed about Varnashram Dharma. In that we discussed about there are 5 different categories. Some people who are outside Varnashram Dharma, some people who are atheistic moralist, then some people who are moralistic theist, and then Sadhana Bhaktas and Pani Raganuga Bhaktas. So likewise, we ascend. So this is the progression, that how we ascend in life. That's what we discussed. And then finally, we discussed about that. How do we perfect our lives? So that's what is the consciousness of a devotee who has perfected his life? That yat karam yat tapsa jnana vairagya shayat yogina dharma dharmena shirobhir itiriyapi mad bhakti labati anjasa, in due course of time. Because a devotee, first the level is instant gratification. Then it is mostly for the sense enjoyers. But then becomes the level of delayed gratification. So when people come to delayed gratification, they want enjoyment. So they take shelter of demigods or Supreme Lord also. And then person comes to overcoming gratification, where we talk about 4 different levels. But initially person tries, but there is no success. And then one struggles and gets success in overcoming gratification. And finally, to a higher stage, one does not have to do any struggle. Only there is success. Automatically one is attracted. Mad bhakti labhate anjasa, easily attracted to the Supreme Lord. So that is said to be overcoming gratification. One then steps out to transcending gratification, that he can be in the material world but not in the of the material world, in the material world, not of the material world. That is how a devotee can lead his life. So this is what our discussion was. Thank you so much, and I hope we are on time. So this was short discussion on the topic today. Thank you so much for joining. If there are any question for discussion, we can discuss.
Thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhu. You prepared a lot of notes for us. Thank you, Prabhuji. Devotees, if anybody have any questions or realizations you'd like to share, please unmute yourself and go ahead with your questions.
Yes, Mataji, please share your realizations.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Pranams to everyone, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just a small thought came across to me. Parikshit Maharaj or Durvasa Muni Shringi, when we're discussing about them, everything is pre-planned by God. Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha coming to the Kashyapa Maharaja's family. So all these are planned by Lord. Then why is Lord Krishna encouraging Arjun to fight? Means all these examples which we discussed earlier, they are challenging to their ashrama. They are not going as per their ashrama. Then why is Lord asking? Means in one case, Lord is encouraging Arjuna to stick to his dharma and fight for dharma. But in their case, it did not happen like that. He has planned earlier, and that is why they had challenged their dharmas, ashramas, or what was it, Prabhuji?
Okay. See, Mataji, there are Nitya Siddhas, and there are Sadhana Siddhas, and there is Baddha Jivas. Yeah, what I told about first is Nitya Siddhas, Sadhana Siddhas, there are Baddha Jivas. The activities which, therefore, the activities performed by the Nitya Siddhas, what they do is, no, I don't want to get technicalities that are Jai Vijay Nitya Siddhas or not, or they are not, but the technique, the point is that activities is done by the Nitya Siddhas, those who come and participate in that is why it is called as Leela, which is planned by the Lord. Specifically, it's called Leela, which is planned by the Lord. So when it is planned by the Lord, that is called as Leela. Let us take, I am taking the first part of the question, and then we'll get to the other part of the question. Specifically, it's called as Leela because Leela is what this different pastimes. It's not time pass. It's called pastimes because already ordained. Already ordained in sense that it is already been, as you said very rightly, planned. It was already planned. So Leela is already ordained. It will happen. Like for example, we're having a drama. So in drama, we already know the dialogues, we already know things. Is it? So here when devotees come to the Lord, they participate in different leelas of the Lord. And all leela is meant for what? Leela is meant for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. In the spiritual world, Vrinda Devi, we talk about Tulsi Maharani, Vrinda Devi, her duty, she is the head of the department of the leela. So that's why she every day, in order to orchestrate different leelas of Lord, she is arranging different things. When Lord comes to this material world, by the internal potencies of the Lord, they take the charge and they orchestrate the Leela of the Lord like that. And in that, pure devotees of the Lord participate. And of course, Lord also allows the conditioned souls also to participate in that time when Lord comes to this material world. Specifically, when talked of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they were Jaya Vijay and they were orchestrated to come to this material world so that Lord would enjoy Virya Rasa. Because Virya Rasa, Lord does not enjoy in the spiritual world. And that is why he comes to the material world to enjoy that particular Leela, Rasa. So this is what this is Leela point of view. And there are two kinds. One is Tattva point of view, one is Leela point of view. Leela point of view, okay, fine. Hiranyakashipu came. As a Jay Vijay came, the dog keepers of the Vaikuntha, they came as Jay and Vijay and performed Leela over there. Tattva point of view, we can understand that demons were there. So as demons, Lord had to punish them. So Lord came and punished them in that way. Because Tattva point of view, in a sense that when Lord comes, the main principle of the coming to Lord, principle point of view I'm talking about, principle point of view, Lord, when he comes, yada yadi dharmasya glanir bhavati bhavrita abhyuthana dharmasya tadatmanam sajamyam, maintain the cosmic order, he comes. So therefore, he had externally, he shows, okay, I have come here to just establish religion. But internal religion, internal point of view or rasa point of view, pratnaya sadhuna vinasha, simple understanding, vinasha duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. Why internal point of view is that to reciprocate with his devotees, to have fun with his devotees, to have leelas with his devotees, to have some fun, to game with his devotees. That's why he comes and does. So when we talk about pure devotees in sense, we don't try to superimpose varnashram and other things to them. But when you talk about the conditional state, all these states are for the devotees, those who are not devotees in the sense that people who are a different consciousness. So for them, this Varnashram is meant. So this is the first part. Mataji, would like to go for the second part?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
please.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. I think it's answered.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Someone else can, any question or any comment?
Yeah,
Or any?
there is one question in the chat room, Prabhuji. Girirani Radha Mataji is asking, thank you
Yeah,
for wonderful class, Prabhuji. Mother Aditi worried about her child. Is
yeah.
it a materialistic feeling or something beyond?
Yes, it is a materialistic feeling. See, it actually, anyways, the whole till we have identities, whole our existence in this material world is I, because we have that I consciousness. Therefore, all relationships are based on I. So in the material world, it is said the purest love one can experience is mother's love. That's the purest love because there is not I. The I consideration is very less. Though it is material, but the I consideration there is very less because she is, and that is very near to. That's how, in order to understand the spiritual love, it is said that mother's love. If we take, therefore, in Bhagavatam, Srila Vishwanath Thakur gives his commentary that Supreme Lord's love is like thousands of mothers. When Narada Muni is convincing Prahlad to go away, in that section, and the prayer section, I think somewhere there, Vishwanath Thakur says that Lord's love is compared to be his heart is filled of thousands of mothers. That kind of love he has. So there, that kind of love is compared to mother's love is compared to God's love in that sense. Just iota of that can be seen in mother's love. Though it is we can say material, because we have material identities, because next life we go, we have different mothers, different fathers. But it is still of a higher nature. It is still of a very refined nature. So that way we can see that that love of mother is but due, because we are in this material body. Of course, we'll have, will can say that mm, to a certain degree, it is good to have, mother should have affection towards the child, and that's how the material, at least it got. And that's why if we say that we can't be just like yogis who are just giving neti neti, just giving, rejecting all relationship, all worldly connection, everything. And devotee by nature is soft-hearted. So that is why it is but obvious that when specifically a mother's heart, Diti is a devotee of Lord Krishna, but even mother's heart, when she naturally, who is very soft, tender, would naturally have an affection towards the child. And mm, though it could be material, but it is of higher nature. Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Janva Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji, with your question.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it's my great fortune to be in association with you. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to some of Bodhis.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, let me just gather my notes for a moment. Apologies. Let's see. There's one thing that I didn't understand and I just needed clarification.
Yeah, please.
One moment. This
Yeah,
the
please.
last it says, "Oh, my wife, who are very much attached to the household life, if the principles of religion, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses are properly followed in a household life, one's activities are as good as those of a transcendentalist. I wonder whether these have been any discrepancies in following these principles." Prabhuji, could you elaborate more on that? I'm gathering that in the Grihastha life,
Yes.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm understanding this correctly. If we
Yeah.
follow the principles that we put Radha Krishna as the center of our life,
Yeah.
in Grihastha life,
Yes.
because there's always this elevation of sannyasi as the elevated position,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Always. And so could you expound on this topic more?
Exactly. Thank you so much, Madaji. I'll just explain that. Madaji, I got your question, if I'm not wrong. So you're asking about that, about Grihastha's life we are supposed to follow. Okay, in the verse, first I like to tell you what is given in the context. In the context, it is given about Artha Dharma Kam. And in Artha Dharma Kam, it is must be, so there are different duties. As you talk about, there are two duties. One is conditional duties, one is constitutional duty. So let's understand first conditional duties. Conditional duties, of course, talking about dharma. One is Nitya Dharma, one is Naimittika Dharma. Let's understand. Nitya Dharma is eternal Dharma, constitutional Dharma. Naimittika Dharma means daily duties or conditional duties, what we do. In order, that's why I started, that because we are at different levels of consciousness, we are actually, I had to come because time got over. I had to come to the stage of discussing. I wanted to come to the point of discussing about different Varna and ashrams also. So if we had understood this Varna and ashram very nicely, then probably that thing could have been well understood. Because of our psycho Varna ashram, first let us understand Varna ashram. What does it mean? Varna means color. Color of what? Color of mind. Varna and ashram. According to our disposition and inclination, we situate ourselves in some particular ashram. And Varna. Varna means our proclivity. We are inclined to towards something. For example, someone who is naturally inclined towards reading, researching, all these things, researching, reading, and contemplating some higher aspects. So this is natural. So there is a word, a color, disposition, inclination. Someone is naturally inclined to do business. Someone is naturally inclined to do administration. Someone is naturally inclined to be helping order. So there are certain inclinations and dispositions like that. And according to the inclinations, we also situate ourselves into brahmachari life or grihastha life, vanaprastha life, and sannyas life. Now, if we understand this, that superiority, now understanding that there are different levels of respect, social respect. Sannyasis do get social respect because that's in order to social status. Again, a sannyasi gets respect of the social order more in the society than the spiritual order, because it is expected for a sannyasi to be at a very high at a high pedestal in the spiritual order automatically. So therefore he gets this status of, because sannyas is a social status. But that social status is given because a person is automatically at a very high pedestal of spiritual life. So that is why he is supposed to get that order, because if sannyasis are respected, then automatically other orders would also be following, because they are supposed to follow the sannyasis, because they are reached to a very high pedestal in spiritual life, and they are supposed to guide the human society in a particular direction. Not the brahmachari is not brahmachari, is at a very lower order. The lowest order is brahmachari. But sannyasis, because they have reached to that level and they have been appointed, they have been given that order, so that they will be able to carry that consciousness into the society about Krishna consciousness. God consciousness can be disseminated in the society very profusely and profoundly by this kind of people, sannyasis. All the orders specifically, again, sannyas order we talk about vanaprastha order, we talk about grihastha order or brahmachari order, whatever these are all this social status. But if we talk about therefore there are two kinds of things. One is Devi Varnashram system, Asuri Varnashram system, and one is Varnashram system talking about. Yes. So Devi Varnashram system means what? Atha Pummi Duja Sheshta Varnashram Vibhagshas Bhagasa Samsiddhir Haritoshan. Atha Pummi Duja Sheshta Varnashram Vibhagshas Swanistasya dharmasya samsiddhi haritoshan. That whatever we do for the service of the Supreme Lord, whatever social order we are. The high, what is that? A Brahmana can be. So in Devi Varnashram, what is what? One is not into who is a brahmachari, who is a sannyasi, or who is that. One is automatic, one is the objective or center of for everyone is to please the Supreme Lord. That is Devi Varnashram system. One lives according to his psychophysical nature, but he can do any activity. Like if you go to a very sectarian, or probably not sectarian, but talking about when you go to a people who have a classist mentality. So they would not try to distinguish. They would say, oh, Brahmana cannot wash utensils. You want Brahmana cannot do this, sannyasis are supposed to do this. But Devi Varnashram system is specifically followed in our society most of the times. So here, most of us do not bother do any kind of activity, but still, all of us are situated in a psychophysical nature. But at the same time, one has to respect the orders also. Sannyasis are given order because they are of a higher class. So this is one thing. And as you talked about why sannyasis are given the more respect, because there are, in fact, there is maryada also. One is Varna Maryada, one is Ashram Maryada. So Varna and Ashram, one is first is given Varna Maryada. Varna Maryada means who is of a higher order, Brahmana. Brahmana has to give respect. But out of Ashram Maryada means sannyasi. So sannyasis have to give respect. Below that is Raj Maryada. One is given because of some position. If someone has a good position in the society, then one is given that. Even though one may not be a very great devotee, but he's a manager, one has to be given respect. But above that is what Ashram Maryada. If someone is sannyasi, if he's not a manager, then sannyasi has to be given respect. So these are different maryadas made in the society so that society runs properly. This is only for running the society properly. There's no confusion in society. But naturally, sannyasis will command respect because they are of a higher spiritual, they have reached a higher spiritual pedestal. Naturally. But socially also, sannyasi are given respect. Likewise. And grihastha sometimes could be, I'd heard from some senior devotees itself, sannyasis, that grihasthas could be sometimes advanced than sannyasis also. But maybe a social order would not, the social respect they may not attract because they have opted to live in that order. So at a social level, as we talk about, there's a hierarchy of respect given to different people so that society runs properly. Likewise, this is a way this is only at the conditional level. There's nothing to do with constitutional. The constitutional level, everyone is related to Krishna. Naham viprocha narapati namanusti triva. Now, so there were kintu prodhyam nikla paramananda purnam tadver upi bhartu kapad kamlyo das dasam das. That is the constitutional duty. Constitutional duty is that I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So that at that level we don't. But because we are covered with different masks, we're covered with different layers of different consciousness because of different previous life's consciousness, previous life's impressions. Those layers have to be unmasked. So more we are able to unmask, understand the reality, then we are not bothered about this actually. If we really see that if we are spirit souls, and then this whole thing will not be bothered. But till we are in conditional nature, we would need these things, these procedures, so that we are situated in a conditional life very nicely, and slowly we progress towards a constitutional nature. Slowly and steadily we go through different by taking to different processes which is given in the Shastras itself. So that is my understanding. If you have any confusion in that, we can discuss more about
Prabhu,
it.
thank you so much for that detailed differentiation and specification about societal hierarchy and conditional nature. I thank you for that. And there's another question. I apologize in advance, but how do we overcome comments from other people when they're challenging our position? Like one example would be, well, look at your God. I know, we know as bhaktas that everything is planned by the Lord. Everything is within His power. When they will say something like, well, your God died and got shot. When Lord Krishna finally decided to leave the planet, but other people are challenging that position. How do you overcome that, Prabhu? What is your philosophical answer on that?
Oh, that's very challenging for us also. I would say that, Mataji, well, challenging, if the challenging question comes, first we have to understand the person's level, what he's asking and why he's asking that. First of all, that if the challenge is just for Vata, because if there are different kind of debates, one kind of debate is called as Vata. Vata means Vada, just frivolous talks. Because if it is on the that level, one is called Dvand, means debate, where the person really wants seriously to understand, is inquisitive to understand. Oh, okay, he's challenging. How can your God dance with 108 girls? Well, sorry, 10,008 girls. Or probably, how can he do this? How can he do that? Someone is asking that, then we can definitely very easily give very important aspects, very important the references from the Shastra itself. Well, God is there. If he can lift Govardhan on his little finger, then why not? He is God. That's why he is God. He can do things which are phenomenal. Which are meta, or probably which are of an anti-material level, which is not fathomed. It cannot be fathomed at the material level. So which is phenomenal, which is just not kind of, one cannot comprehend that. It's uncomprehensive. That kind of activity God does. That's why He's God. Dancing with 10,008 girls. One devotee was asked, "Hey, you Krishna dance with 10,000, this 10,008 girls. Why can't I dance with at least 8?" But devotee said, "Well, you dance with 8 tonight, and I'll come and see you in the hospital." So this was the reply, the counter reply. But again, different people confront us, and therefore we have to understand, gauge that one person is really interested in, inquisitive to understand, or probably he's just trying to do a vad. Vad means just he was trying to pass his time, or probably just wants to take out his frustration. So if it is that, and most of the devotees, those at least Madhyam Adhikari, they don't want to, because Ishwarastha Dhaneshu Balashu Dusatsuja Prem Matri Sokripaksha Saharusi Madhyam. If a person is envious of that kind of mentality, better a Madhyam Adhikari does not get into that. And if someone is sincere, better we deal with him properly, and then most of the times, the person who is sincere is asking some question which is not very palatable. We can understand, we can take it in the comments. Who is commenting? Generally, if it is what kind of comment, that is also there. If it is a blasphemous comment, there's a really blasphemous comment, then If we have the energy we have, we think we are compatible to confront and defeat him, better defeat. If we see that, oh, looks like I'm not compatible to defeat, so better just ignore and go away. That's one thing to do. And if person thinks that, oh, I can just deal with him properly, or probably I can, if the person is really envious, or probably he's just commenting on those, then definitely it should be replied properly. Or if we are not compatible, we should at least ask someone else to do that. So that way one can deal with. Other thing is also there that one can just walk away. One should not hear the blasphemy. And and the third thing is that better, of course, in the Shastras says something very strict and stringent, so that is not to be followed. Very extreme cases are there also in the Shastras. But two things are very, I think, practical. One is that better if we can confront very rightly, confront and defeat the person, instead of otherwise just walk away. That walk away from that situation. Person is sincere, and if a person is sincere, then probably we try to preach him very nicely. And most of the cases, I think 100%, not 100, but 99%, I would say that they will get convinced, because we have so many logical things to tell, so many, not only logical properly, we can see so many testimonial things to also tell. It's a testimony that it works. So I think, and more important is that such people should be given experience. By giving good experience in the temple, in whichever places we are, we can just giving good experience also, people transform. So though many ways, someone who's sincere can transform, someone who's envious can be dealt like that. So these are two things to understand there.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your very, very wise and practical answers. First, determine what's the position and why it's being asked. That's a good step one. And then step two, either if we can determine what experience we can provide for that person, and really basically distinguish whether this person is really worth spending time with in explanation and whatnot. So, Prabhu, thank you so much. May Radha Krishna bless you always in your preaching. It's my great fortune to be in your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm grateful to everyone who joined with us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for wonderful class and very detailed explanation, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Do you have some? Actually, Hemangi Mataji, she raised her hand, Prabhu.
Yeah, please. Please. Right. Yeah, Mataji. Yeah.
Hemangi Mataji, do you want to go ahead with your question?
I don't think so, Hemangi Mataji on the call, Mataji. And we are all also on the time, like it's 8:13. Usually we close the call at 8 o'clock. But today's question and answers were very nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Mat. Prabhuji, we are very grateful to you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
And we look forward for your session again and again. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Let's end the call here, paying obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyam patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Tantra
Srimad Bhagavatam
Dandavat
ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you.
Jai. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, very beautiful class.
Very beautiful class this morning. Thank you so much. We'll join again tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Lalita Mataji and Dina Brandhu Prabhu. Very nice to see you, both of you, every single day. Hare Krishna. Closing the